3 days after I buried my husband, my sister announced at my nephew's birthday party that the baby was actually my husband's child. She held up a will claiming half of my $960,000 house. My mother stood beside her, nodding in support. They thought I would break. Instead, I laughed, because they had no idea about the vasectomy my husband had 4 years ago. You won't believe what happened next. Before we continue, please subscribe and hit that like button if you've ever had to fight for your survival against the people who were supposed to be your family. This is a story about betrayal, murder, and the most devastating revenge you've ever heard. My name is Skylar Bennett. I'm 36 years old. 3 days ago, I buried my husband of 12 years. Carter Bennett. He was 37. Healthy. Athletic. He ran half marathons. He ate kale. He was my everything. Then, one morning, he collapsed in our kitchen. An aneurysm, the doctor said. Quick. Merciless. A thief in the night that stole my entire world. Our house, our $960,000 home in Charlotte's most exclusive neighborhood, feels like a tomb now. Everything still smells like him, cedar wood and bergamot. His navy suit still hangs in the closet. But he's gone. I've barely eaten. I've barely slept. I'm just existing in this fog of grief. Then my phone rang. My mother, Linda. Mom, my voice was barely a whisper. Skylar, are you coming or not? Her voice was sharp. Annoyed. Like I was late for Sunday dinner, not like I'd just buried my husband 3 days ago. Coming where? Maya's party is starting. Everyone is waiting. Maya. My sister Vanessa's daughter. Her first birthday party. Mom, I just buried Carter 3 days ago. Don't be selfish, Skylar. The word hit me like a slap. Your sister has been planning this party for months. She spent a fortune. You cannot ruin it just because you're sad. The least you can do is show your face. Sad. She called it sad. Like I'd lost a pet. Not my husband. Not my partner of 12 years. I'll be there, I heard myself say. I don't know why I said it. Maybe because saying no would have taken more energy than I had. Maybe because a small part of me still craved my family's approval. Even now, even after everything. I got dressed. Black dress. No makeup. My face looked like a ghost in the mirror. I drove to my sister's house in a daze. The party was already in full swing. Balloons. A bounce house. A live band playing children's music. Vanessa had gone all out. She always did when she wanted to prove something. I walked through the gate. Immediately, people's conversations stopped. They stared at me. The widow. The tragic figure. My mother rushed over. Not to comfort me, to grab my arm and pull me aside. Thank God you came. Vanessa was getting upset. Of course. Vanessa's feelings were what mattered. I made my way through the crowd. Forced smiles. Awkward hugs. People who didn't know what to say to me. Then I saw Vanessa. 34 years old. My younger sister. She was holding Maya. Her daughter. 1 year old today. Vanessa saw me and smiled. Not a warm smile. A calculating smile. Skylar. You made it. Happy birthday, Maya, I said quietly. Vanessa looked at me for a long moment. Then she cleared her throat. Loudly. Everyone, can I have your attention, please? The music stopped. The crowd turned to look at her. I have an announcement to make. A very important announcement. My stomach tightened. She held Maya up higher. This beautiful little girl, my daughter Maya, is very special. And today, on her first birthday, I think it's time everyone knew the truth. What are you doing? I whispered. The truth is, Vanessa continued, her voice carrying across the yard, Maya is not just my daughter. She's also Carter Bennett's daughter. The world stopped. What? Vanessa looked right at me. Her eyes were cold. That's right, Skylar. Carter was Maya's father. We had an affair. A long one. And Maya is the result. The crowd gasped. My mother stepped forward. She didn't look shocked. She looked supportive. It's true, Linda said. We've known for months. Carter confessed everything before he died. I couldn't breathe. This couldn't be real. Then Vanessa's husband, Derek, stepped forward. He pulled out a document. A thick, official-looking document. This is Carter's will, Derek said. His voice was smug. A will that he signed 3 months ago. In it, he leaves half of everything he owns to his daughter, Maya, including half of the house you're living in, Skylar. He handed me the document. I looked at it. It looked real. The signature looked like Carter's. We're giving you 30 days to vacate half the property, Vanessa said. Or buy us out. $480,000. Cash. I looked around. At the faces staring at me. At my mother, who was nodding. At my sister, who was smiling. At Derek, who looked like he'd just won the lottery. And then I did something they didn't expect. I laughed. It started as a small laugh. Then it grew. Louder. Harder. Until I was doubled over, tears streaming down my face. The crowd looked confused. Vanessa's smile faltered. "What's so funny?" she demanded. I straightened up, wiped my eyes, and looked right at her. "You really thought this through, didn't you? The affair story. The will. The dramatic announcement at a birthday party. Very theatrical." "Skylar," my mother warned. "But there's one tiny problem with your plan." "What?" Vanessa snapped. "Carter had a vasectomy 4 years ago. After we found out he carried the gene for Huntington's disease, he didn't want to pass it on to a child." The color drained from Vanessa's face. "You're lying." "I'm not. I have the medical records. The procedure was done at Charlotte Medical Center. Dr. Raymond Harris performed it. I can give you the date if you'd like." That's not possible," Derek stammered. "It's very possible. In fact, it's documented. Which means Maya cannot be Carter's biological daughter. Which means this will," I held up the document, "is a forgery." The crowd erupted in whispers. "This is absurd," Vanessa shouted. "You're making this up. You're so desperate to keep the house that you're inventing medical histories." "Am I?" I pulled out my phone. I'd prepared for this. Not consciously. But somewhere in my grief-stricken mind, I'd known they would try something. I opened my email. I found the message from Dr. Harris. I held up my phone so everyone could see. "This is an email from Carter's urologist confirming the vasectomy, complete with medical record numbers. Would you like me to forward it to you, Vanessa?" She stared at me, her mouth opening and closing. "You're lying," she repeated weakly. Derek stepped forward. He pulled out another document. "Fine. You want to talk about medical facts? Let's talk about DNA." He held up a thick report. "Charlotte Genetic Clinic. Official letterhead. Everything. This is a certified DNA paternity test. Done 3 months ago. Carter agreed to it. And the results are clear. 99.999% probability that Carter Bennett is Maya's biological father." My blood went cold. "How?" Derek smiled. "You think a vasectomy is foolproof? They fail, Skylar. Or maybe," his smile turned cruel, "maybe Carter lied to you. Maybe he never got it at all. Maybe he just told you that so you'd stop crying about being unable to have children." The crowd gasped again. Now they were looking at me with pity. Poor Skylar. The barren wife. Lied to by her own husband. I felt my hands shaking. This couldn't be happening. I looked at the DNA report. It looked real, completely real. But it couldn't be. Because I knew the vasectomy was real. Unless. My mind started racing. I'm a forensic document analyst. It's what I do for a living. I examine documents for authenticity. And something about this felt wrong. "May I see that?" I asked, reaching for the DNA report. Derek hesitated, then handed it to me. I examined it carefully. The letterhead was correct. The formatting looked right. But there. A tiny detail. The date. "This test was supposedly done 3 months ago," I said slowly. "But Carter died 3 weeks ago." "So?" Vanessa snapped. "So," I looked up at Derek, "the Charlotte Genetic Clinic requires both parents to be present for paternity testing. It's their policy. How did Carter do a DNA test 3 months ago when he was alive, but the test wasn't ordered until after he died?" Derek's face went pale. You're confused," he stammered. "No, I'm not." I pulled out my phone again. I called the Charlotte Genetic Clinic right there. On speaker. "Charlotte Genetic Clinic, how may I help you?" "Yes, I have a question about a DNA test that was supposedly conducted at your facility. Test number DG24791. Can you confirm when this test was ordered?" A pause. Typing sounds. "I'm sorry, ma'am. That test number doesn't exist in our system." "What?" "We have no record of a test with that number." Derek tried to grab the phone from my hand. I stepped back. "Thank you," I said to the clinic representative. I hung up. The crowd was silent. "It's fake," I said clearly. "The DNA test is fake. Which means you paid someone to create a fraudulent document. Which means this whole thing, the will, the affair story, all of it, is a scam." "You can't prove that," Vanessa said desperately. "Actually, I can. Because I already sent the will to a handwriting expert. The signature is a digital forgery. Carter never signed this." I looked at Derek. "How much did you pay someone to fake that DNA test? 5,000? 10,000? Derek's jaw clenched. "This is slander. No. This is fraud. And I'm going to the police." "Wait," my mother said suddenly. She looked panicked. "Skylar, please. Let's talk about this privately. As a family." "Family. That word again. You stood there and watched them try to steal my house," I said to her. "You supported their lie. You helped them. I didn't know, Linda stammered. Yes, you did. You've always chosen Vanessa over me. Always. I looked around at all of them. You know what the saddest part is? If you'd just asked me for help, I might have given it. If Vanessa had come to me and said she needed money, I would have helped. But instead, you tried to destroy me. 3 days after I buried my husband. I turned to leave. Skylar, wait, Vanessa called out. I kept walking. I drove straight to the police station. I filed a report. Fraud. Forgery. Attempted theft. The detective assigned to my case was a woman named Sarah Chen. She listened to everything. Looked at all the documents. This is pretty clear-cut fraud, she said. But I have a question. Why would they go to all this trouble? Because they're broke, I said. Derek lost his job 6 months ago. They're drowning in debt. My house is worth $960,000. Half of that would solve all their problems. Detective Chen nodded. We'll investigate. Then something occurred to me. Detective, I said slowly. Carter's death. The aneurysm. Is it possible to test for poison? Detective Chen finished. I felt sick. We can exhume the body, she said gently. Run a full toxicology screen. But you need to be prepared for what we might find. 3 weeks later, I got the call. Miss Bennett, this is Detective Chen. We have the toxicology results. I held my breath. Your husband had lethal levels of thallium in his system. It's a slow-acting poison. Someone had been dosing him for weeks. Oh my God. We're opening a murder investigation. And based on the evidence we've gathered, we have enough for arrest warrants. 2 days later, I watched from my car as police arrested Derek and Vanessa. My mother was arrested too. As an accomplice. The investigation revealed everything. Vanessa had been having an affair. Not with Carter. With a man named Marcus Hayes. He looked almost identical to Carter. Same height. Same build. Same general features. Derek had paid Marcus $20,000 to impersonate Carter at a fake DNA clinic. They'd set up a fake office, taken the sample, created fraudulent documents. But the murder? That was all Derek. He'd been slowly poisoning Carter for 2 months. Thallium in his coffee every morning. Derek had access because he and Vanessa visited us regularly. He'd slip it in while I wasn't looking. Why? I asked Detective Chen. The house, she said simply. They knew that if Carter died, and they could prove Maya was his daughter, they'd get half of everything. Including the house. But the vasectomy. They didn't know about it until after Carter was already dead. That's when they panicked, and created the whole elaborate fraud scheme. I felt numb. My sister. My mother. They'd helped murder my husband. For money. The trial took 6 months. Vanessa and Derek were both convicted. First-degree murder. Life without parole. My mother got 15 years as an accomplice. I sold the house. I couldn't live there anymore. Not after everything. With the money, I started a foundation. The Carter Bennett Foundation for Huntington's research. Every penny goes to finding a cure for the disease that Carter carried. The disease he was so afraid of passing on that he got a vasectomy. The disease that, in a twisted way, saved me from being completely destroyed by my own family. People ask me if I've forgiven them, Vanessa, Derek, my mother. The answer is no. You don't forgive people who murder your husband and try to steal everything you have. You move forward. You build something new, but you don't forgive. Maya is 3 now. She's in foster care. Her real father, Marcus Hayes, is in prison for fraud. Vanessa and Derek will never see her again. Sometimes I think about reaching out to her, offering to help, but I can't. Every time I look at her, I see Vanessa, and I see the lie that destroyed everything. This story taught me that the most devastating betrayals come from the people closest to you. The people you trust. The people you love. It taught me that greed can turn family into monsters. But it also taught me that truth is the ultimate weapon. They tried to bury the truth under fake documents and elaborate lies. But the truth always finds its way out. Always. I'm 38 now. I live in a small condo downtown. I run the foundation full-time. I've dedicated my life to Carter's memory. To making sure his legacy is about hope, not about the horrible way he died. I still miss him every day. I still smell cedar wood and bergamot sometimes and turn around, expecting to see him. But he's not there. And he never will be again. Because my family took him from me. Have you ever had to be the bad guy to protect yourself? Have you ever discovered a betrayal so deep you didn't think you'd survive it? Share your story in the comments below. And if this resonated with you, please like and subscribe. Because sometimes the truth is the only thing that can save you. Thank you for listening.